Hello, and welcome to Children in Our Lives. I am Crystal Newman, back with more on preventing violence against children. In this program, children and adults speak about issues concerning children. As always, we aim to be thought-provoking, and we want you to question how we relate with the children in our lives. Today we ask the question, what is a good school? Is it where children pass exams with high scores? Is it a place where teachers are feared and students are strictly controlled? Does that really prepare our children to become independent and thoughtful adults? Or is there more to a good school than that? Let's see what our fellow Ugandans think about this question. What is a good school?
To me, a good school is a school which has good teachers, good learning environment, and good pupils.
They teach, the subjects which they teach are very nice, like especially English. Teaches you good morals, teaches you how to speak English, how you can behave.
What the main goal of the school is, what it wants to achieve, is what makes a good school.
They should have the scholastic materials.
I think a good school is a school that can provide children with enough facilities.
The environment, that means the infrastructure and the location, then also the teachers.
The activities at school, the leisure, especially the leisure activities, things like sports.
Good management and good teachers.
A good school should have a good hygiene. It has good motivated teachers.
Information or education that is going to lead them further, not only to get information to pass the exams, but information that is going to take him further and to help him in his day-to-day life.
Maybe if a school has this dream of making good citizens and all, I think that's what makes a good school.
For the school to work, the administration must be ready to listen to the students. In other words, they could never go on with the work. The school can never be made up of the administration alone.
We have sports. In the sports, we enable them to build up whatever they have in talents, as in running, as in netball, as in volleyball, sports. So with that, we identify them and also build up their potentials. So we have also what we call public speech. We always have assemblies on a Monday. So we try to see that per class we get a student to come out and speak to the others. So at the end of the day, we identify those ones who have the potential in talking, as in speaking to the public. We award them. So we also have what we call Writers Club. They write. Those who want to see those who will be news editors in time to come. So we see that they write, we get language teachers to edit, they counsel them, they call them, we award the best writers. So those who have the potential that side are also catered for like that. And so many other activities.
You can check at the offices. The offices are very clean, hygienic. The kitchen is very clean, the toilets, everything. So I think the school is the best.
We learn from the teacher what we should do. We revise, we do debates, we do quizzes. That's all.
Good teachers plus good children.
Because they love us so much.
We love our school!
In my opinion, a good school is one that inspires confidence in children and their abilities, one where they feel safe and they're able to talk to their teachers and their peers and they're responsible for their actions. Recently, I went to speak with Willington Sekade and Yvonne Laruni at Raising Voices to see what they had to say about a good school. I was interested in their personal experiences of school and how it might have inspired them to do the work that they do.
What anyone would tell you about, say, Ugandan schools, most especially missionary schools, is the fact that the schools I went to, there was a lot of hard work. And there's a definition of what you call hard work. And then those schools also have an aspect of being competitive. So much of the competition is around being able to pass the exam. So you aim at that.
I went to many schools, but I particularly remember the school I started with. It was in one of the rural areas in Uganda. It was called Kampala School. It was It was both interesting and a bit hard to study in.
You know, I don't believe I was stubborn, but I was considered to be a very stubborn child because I was very talkative, both in and out of class. I've always been talkative up to today, you know. So as such, I got lots of caning for talking because in most cases, class monitors had to write my name.
I particularly remember being caned or the teachers hitting my hands because I was using the left hand. So most of the time I got beaten and they thought maybe by beating me for using the left hand it would make me change, but then I didn't. And then we were always beaten for coming late.
I was good at some subjects, but not so fluent at other subjects. So I remember when it came to subjects like history, I would always get recognition from my teachers, I would get rewards. But when it came to mathematics, you know, even if the teacher wrote so many fractions and tried to explain it was hard, and in return I would get the canes, I would get the humiliation.
If you're not beaten, then you're told to sweep the whole compound. And for a 6-year-old to sweep a compound, that can be like a lot of work. But then some teachers were friendly, but most of the teachers were really harsh. And then there was a lot of bullying from fellow students, especially around break time. You could not access the canteen. The canteen would only be accessed by the bigger boys and the bigger girls. So much as I was really, really excited to be in school because everyone else was in school, I didn't like the whole experience of being in school.
Every time a school has violence, it puts children in a position of fear and humiliation as well as intimidation. They do not feel safe to be there. So it's one of the barriers actually when you look at the statistics of children dropout in Uganda. Most of the reports point to the fact that only 30% of the children complete that cycle from primary 1 to primary 7. And when you talk to many of the children who dropped out, they will tell you that they quit school because it had it had routine use of violence from their teachers, school administrators, and other school staff.
Where there is violence, you cannot get the full potential of the child. Their potential is limited. You'll have children not wanting to go to school. You do not really realize how much a child can go because the environment is not favorable.
What happens at school actually is instilling values and values and ideas that children are going to take on even when they grow up. So if they grow up in an environment in a school that believes in the use of violence, chances are high that they're also going to grow up and be violent. They're going to grow up and beat their wives, beat their children, because that is what they saw happening.
I want a school where my child can learn without fear. I want a school where the teachers are friendly to the learners. I want a school that does not only focus on the academic performance of a child, but they are able to bring out everything, the interest, the passion, the talents of a child. So I want a school that grooms my child, so that even if my child does not continue after primary level to another level, they can do something with their lives. I also want a school that builds a child's confidence and esteem.
So how are you, Teacher Roy?
I'm okay, madam.
Thank you for letting us come and speak.
You're welcome, please.
So first up, in your opinion, what is a good school?
In my opinion, a good school is a school free from violence. That means to be a good school, there are components which has to make it a good. For example, it has to be with good teachers, good learning environment, and good and transparent administration.
How do you use creative teaching instead of the usual cram work?
Creative teaching, you can find that they can write and put in the suggestion box there. It is in front of the head teacher. if they are not satisfied. So they have to account, and for example, for the food, they account for the food, making sure that they eat as they are supposed to. I compare the children in our school and others. These children now are very free with us, yet previously it wasn't, because they knew now they are free, they have a voice, and the teacher-pupil relationship increased.
Now some people believe that you have to cane, and then with the canes, the knowledge will stick in their head. How is it possible to actually teach children without any violence at all?
Those teachers of those days were not the same teachers as this one. For example, as my school, where there is a good school program. This project came in, and that is when my eyes were opened, because I thought a stick is good. And I was even proud that I'm what I am because of those teachers of mine. So when we got this program in this school, that is when I tried to realize that a stick was bad.
We talked about the Good School program. You've told us what a good teacher is. But what about the parents? How do they fit in the whole equation?
If we could decide that there is no corporal punishment which should be used, the parents should also be sensitized, being told that please, a stick is bad. And we normally challenge it very much with the parents, because they really don't believe that a kid can be taught without a stick. But we try. As time goes on, you find that others change and others are already good, because that's now even the number increased from the school.
Coming up, we will be taking a look into the Kampala School for the Physically Handicapped, a really good school. We will hear from teacher Prossy and one of her students about why their school is a good school. Join us after the break. Welcome back. Today we are asking, what is a good school? We have been talking to teachers and students to try to understand what a good school means to them. We visited the Kampala School for the Physically Handicapped and asked them why they consider their school a good school.
My name is Prossy. I'm a senior woman here. The methods we use, since we are a special needs school, we use unique methods. We learn one-to-one. We call the children, because due to the nature of our children, they have different abilities. Learning one-to-one helps the students to learn in a way that the child gains confidence. Like we have some children who have low esteem, but when we are seated together like we are, the child will gain the confidence, because not everybody will be hearing what she or he has to say, and you will be able to talk to that child calmly. And when they are not interrupted, you find that they gain interest.
I'm Ukasha Sinavulia, and I'm in primary 7. I'm at Kampala School for Physically Handicapped, and I have 13 years old. My favorite teacher is called Teacher Nathan. He's a man known so rude. He makes me laugh all the time. Whenever he enters the class, he makes sure that I can understand what he teaches. And before he starts teaching, make sure that all our brains are straight at him. We are attentive. So how he makes that? He first tells us some stories, some nice stories, like the gorilla came and like that. So we first laugh and then he say back on the point. So that's where we shall start from, and that's why he's my favorite teacher.
When we are here, we try to make them believe that they are also important, to show them that they are wanted and they really mean something to life and to everybody. We try to show them that they can also be something, they can do something. And we always teach them and encourage them. We do music, and when we are doing music, we encourage them and say, you can play that, you can also do it. When we are teaching English, someone tries to make a full sentence, though the English is not correct, but we always say, you can do it. Read again, and we try to teach them, to show them that however problems they have, they can do anything that other children can do. We realize that some children are free to other children, the peers. They have that phobia when they're going to when they see the elder ones. So we created the student council so that they can be able to talk to each other when they are leaders, and they are the ones to come forward to us, so that there is that level whereby there is no stigma, no fear. Let them not say that the big ones are there to be feared. No. So we put there a bridge. It's like a bridge. To us teachers and the students, there is a students' council which bridges up the gap.
I joined it and it was nice because I learned what problems do people face, and how can you solve the problems, and what kind of punishment could you give a child? Could you give him a couple or a positive? And it was nice because I learned how to handle children, and have friends in the community.
When we have a problem, for example, a child is having a problem, we don't sit like we used to do, elders, and we decide. No, we call the children and we address what is there, that this is what is there, what happened. Both parties are given chance to talk. It's not like it used to be. We used to be the ones to judge. We are the judges, and we used not to give them an allowance to talk about it. But now we call so that we can hear from both sides and know what is wrong. Because at times we could judge wrongly. But if you hear both sides, you can be able to judge. I'm realizing corporal punishment can't do anything. Talking to the children and using positive discipline can really work, and it really works. It has really, really worked for us here. However much, with the children we deal with, there is that tension. You feel it's too much. You want to throw the stick, but now you just say, oh no, that stick won't work. Now, for example, let me give you an example today morning. They reported to me a child, she ate things yesterday for a little girl, did the same thing today. Then I said, no, I called her. I told her, now, Sharon, can you tell me what happened? And then she told me that, I'm sorry, I ate the things. Then I said, have you realized your mistake? She said, yes, forgive me. I simply told her, it's okay, you can go, don't do it again. But had it been those times, she would have gone down for some 2 strokes at least. But really, positive discipline really works.
So if they don't beat children here, they just cancel them and they tell them, you have done a bad thing, you should not repeat it, it's bad for your life, or you are putting other people in problems. Like, it's important because a child, if he fears a teacher, he can't tell him the problem. So the problem in pain, maybe he has a sickness and he might even die without knowing. So if the teacher knows about that problem, he can get a solution for the problem. It's good.
Corporal punishments makes the child hate you, fear you, makes the child go in a self-cocoon. The child shuts himself or herself inside, and you can never be able to know what is going on. However much you try, whenever a child sees you, tries to run away. But when you use positive discipline, you realize that whenever you're busy doing your other things, someone is saying, no, let's go and talk to teacher so and so. She will be able to deal with us, because for her, she doesn't shout, doesn't beat. No, she will only guide us and counsel us. So So with positive discipline, it is really so good. But corporal punishment makes the child hate. The child can even hate school and decide to drop out.
So the teachers are not rude and they play with the children. They listen to the children's problems, having fun with them. So a child cannot fear a teacher when you are doing all that.
The Good School Toolkit is an innovation spearheaded by Raising Voices in collaboration with various schools in Uganda. Presently, it's being used by over 500 schools in diverse parts of the country. And it rotates around the simple notion that, teachers, school administrators, and the community can create a child-friendly school. And it suggests simple ideas in terms of how do you make children feel safe at school. One of them is having good and friendly teachers. The second one is having a conducive learning environment, which is not just a physical learning environment, but which is also psychologically conducive for learners, and also having a transparent and accountable school administration. So it's mainly around transforming the operational culture of our schools from the strict system to a liberal system that gives children an opportunity to express themselves, that reminds teachers of their roles and obligations towards their learners. So it's a 6-step process. Like a school has suggested ideas that they begin with and implement over a period of 18 months and put up structures that are responsive, that actually engage both teachers, children, school administrators, and the community to create that kind of good school with limited financial input.
So what do you think? Has your opinion of a good school changed? Is your child's school preparing your child to be creative and independent? Is it allowing them to express what they think and feel? Is your child's school a good school? And to you, the learners, is your school a good school? My name is Crystal Newman. Thank you for watching. Join us next time.